Right. Last session, we started with this topic. Mm, AP. Introduction to RDBMS, components of RDBMS, and what else we started? Components we discussed, differences between Oracle and SQL Server, introduction to SQL Server, and all this stuff. Today we are going to learn life cycle of database implementation. Okay. And always remember, database life cycle always will go in this process. What is it? First comes designing. First phase it is designing. And from designing, it will go to development. And from development, it will go to development to development to we go to production. This is the process you find. Designing to development, development to production. Total, the process will go like this. Now, in designing is enough. Design. The profile, what you call, is about architect. This is developer. Developer. And this is administrator. That's what we call DBA. Database administrator. DBA. Database administrator. DBA. Okay. And one more thing. In all these levels, there is some flow, there is some process. On the basis of it, the work goes. On the basis of it, we continue the implementation, total implementation. And what is it? Yeah, here under designing, I'll write responsibilities of all three. Okay, so that you could figure out what actually we are trying to understand. First comes planning and analyzing client requirements. Yes, this is first part. Planning and analyzing, both answers. What does it mean? For example, if I want to have a database for any business. So obviously, I will take support of some IT company, right? And I'll ask them to develop a database for my business. So they will make me arrange with the architect who has at least, around 10 plus or 15 plus of real-time exposure on database. So such people are given opportunity to work as architect, database architect. And we will daily, I'll go to him, I'll go to company, I'll meet with him, and I'll explain him what are the requirements of my business. Everything I'll explain, like what my business deals with, what information I take up, what information I want to manage. Everything I'll explain them. Now, what is the role of architect? Architect is the one who is going to what? Understand client requirements clearly. I become a client for them, and he should understand clearly of my things. Then only he can design perfectly, because he is the one who takes care of designing a database, designing database, and finally preparing design documents, designing, and then what? Preparing design documents. It means whatever the design he completes for a day, he should put that in the form of document. He should explain about the designing part, because today he's there. Sometimes designing goes months together. Sometimes design goes for months together. So in that scenario, today he is in the company, tomorrow he may not. If he is not there, company will definitely appoint a new person who is experienced, who is experienced, and in place of him, the company will appoint a new person. Now he should know now, that new person should know till where designing has been completed, what is the left, what is the next design part which is to be completed. He should have that information. And if that fellow doesn't write document, then new person cannot understand. He doesn't know where the till where the design has been completed, from where he should continue, from where it got started. He won't have that information. So for that reason, he is forced to document the designing. Day to day, he should write what all he has done or what all he has completed in the designing part, so that they can he can he so that the other person who replaces him can understand. Then he can continue preparing, can continue designing the continuation of that particular database. Yeah, this is these are the 3 points. You have any questions to ask me on this? Go ahead. If not, I'll talk about development. Yes, please go ahead. Yeah, Bhavna and Sai Lakshmi, any questions you have that you want to ask me on this?
No, sir, nothing
No,
from
sir,
my.
but
Okay, fine, Bhavna. Sai Lakshmi.
no, sir, no questions. But please explain me the third one. I mean, how did the
Preparing.
uh,
Uh, right. For example, in the designing,
mm,
in the designing, if
okay,
he has, for example, assume that we got one database to be designed,
okay,
and in that database, he completed some table design, connections between tables. So that only architect knows, like what he has completed, what tables he has created, how those tables are connected. So whatever the designing he has completed, he should
okay,
put that design part in the form of document. Means he
okay,
should open MS Word and he should write in words. He should write in words whatever he has designed. He should mention that I created so and so table by so and so name. And in this table, I placed so and so, so and so, so and so number of columns. And I made this so and so column as the major column of the table. And this column has a connection with another table column. That connections he should explain. That
okay,
all total information about design part, he has to put in the form of theoretical by preparing a document.
okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. So I'll just give an example. Another example I'll give you. Assume currently myself taking a course for you for SQL Server. Okay.
Okay,
And now whatever I'm teaching you, if company asks me to put that in a document,
okay,
whatever I have taught you, everything, if
yes,
company asks me to keep a track of that, the list of topics, what I have completed, so that
okay,
tomorrow, if I'm not there, they may replace me by some other person. That fellow should know now what has been
yes,
completed.
okay.
Do you understand? So
I got it,
if he
sir.
has that, If he has that list, he can understand, oh, this
Yes.
part, this portion of the content is over. This is yet to be discussed.
Okay.
In that way, even in database environment, designing or architect is it actually they made a policy. They make a policy. Policy in the
Okay.
sense he cannot deny. Architect
Okay.
has to undergo. That's what
Okay.
they some companies makes a policy. Okay.
Okay.
That is
Okay,
what the
sir.
concept of design. Okay.
Okay, sir.
But
Thank
now going forward, when it once designing is over, na, then our job starts. Now we are now what is our job? Our work is to implement database. Implement database. Okay. And what else? What else? Implementing is one work. What is your other work? Yes, our work is to have coding. Yeah, we only should write programs. We only should have debugging. And we only should write fine tuned queries. Yes, fine tuning queries. Fine tuning queries in the sense that queries should run with, with sufficient speed, perfect speed. Yes, three things: coding, debugging, and writing what? Fine tuned queries. Fine tuned queries in the sense whenever you write a, even today, whenever we write a query in database, they don't accept our queries in any project. They'll ask us to write the queries, but they won't accept the queries until and unless the query is not providing sufficient speed for execution. Once they find, yes, query is going with sufficient speed, then what? Then they accept the query. Actually, when you write a query, two factors are considered when you write a query. One they call convenient, and second they call efficient. Query should fastly run and then smoothly run. Okay. And even we are responsible for testing database. Three responsibilities for development. And finally comes production. DBA, database administrator. And what is the job of DBA? And remember one thing: designing and production. That's DBA. Both are experienced profiles in IT industry. Freshers never are hired on these two profiles. Freshers. You understand? Developers, freshers they hire. Freshers they hire. Because because for 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 database administration, only experienced profiles they accept. Reason reason because they want they want what? Server to be managed by. So fresher cannot manage server, because server is going to have years of data, years of data, millions and millions of information available. If a fresher is given an opportunity, if that fellow does something which is not to be actually applied, then the database may crash. Do you understand? Even architect. That's what the rule says, na? Designing goes perfect, development will be perfect. If development goes perfect, maintenance will be perfect. That is the reason production, this is what related with database maintenance. Database maintenance also involved, apart from this database maintenance, also involved what? Monitoring. Monitoring. Plus what? Troubleshooting. What? Troubleshooting, monitoring what? Database and server, both issues. Database and server issues. Two things: monitoring and troubleshooting. Database and what? Server issues. Also responsible for various other events. Responsible for following events. Responsible for what? Following events. What events? What are the events he's responsible for? One, he is the one who always need to check that never server is down, no downtime, never. 24 cross 7 plus 365 days, server is always up and running. Whenever, whenever administrator is planning to down the server for maintenance, at least a month before, he should start circulating message in the company informing them that server will be under maintenance on so and so date from so and so time to so and so time. On that particular day, heavy work need not be done because they have a backup server, but that cannot manage that speed what your original server can manage. That's what you call now production, non-production. So they'll give access to non-production. Production server will be under maintenance. Never downtime. No. Never downtime. Even no data loss. No data loss. If data is gone from the server, if data is gone from the server, then obviously designer is not involved in data. Someone who is involved in data was developer. And if administrator says that there is no data available, we are not answerable. Developer is not answerable. I did my job of 10 hours a day from past many months. I'm working on that data on the project, on that particular database. I have stored millions and millions of data. One fine day, if administrator said data is not there, he is the one who should take sole responsibility for losing that data. No developer is involved in that. And he should even guarantee that never we face performance issues. No performance issues. This is sometimes happen, sometimes. Like morning 9 o'clock, when you go to office and write a query, and evening 4 o'clock at the end of the day, you're writing some query. Then it may happen like morning 9 o'clock query, you hit to query was hit, query has been hit to server, and server executed that query, returned with some result, with hardly in some what do you call microseconds. Same query in evening I'm executing. The query is taking some 1 minute of time. Means some issue is there on the server. Something is happening on the server. Morning 9 o'clock, I could run that query. I got the output in 30 seconds. Evening when I'm executing the same query, now I'm getting my output in 1 minute. 30-second duration, we have a gap. That is the reason why production department or database administrators are forcibly made to work or to react on the server always in two cases. Two options are there for them. They should be proactive or they should be reactive. Proactive in the sense day to day, minute to minute, hour to hour. If they maintain things properly, then never you get a problem. Never you get a problem on server. Same like same like as human beings, as for human beings. You maintain your health properly, you maintain your diet properly, you make your sleep proper. When you make comfortable sleep of whatever the number of hours required. If you make things properly maintained about your health, never you get health issues. Never, never. Huh. By some chance, you fell sick. You fell sick. Instant you react. Rectify the problem then and there. React on it. Try to try to resolve the problem then and there itself. Don't delay because because of that delay, some other problem may start. Because of that delay, some other problem may start. And because of this problem comes, definitely a day comes where a person may not be available. Same like server, one issue comes, instant you react and resolve. Don't delay the problem. Because of that problem, another problem may start. Because of that problem, another problem may start. This problem on the server, one time comes, server may go down. Server may be crashed. Database may be crashed. Then you lose your data. You understand? No performance issues. Second, no connectivity issues. No performance issues, no connectivity issues. Fifth one, no security problem. Except yeah. Anything else you want to ask in this? Okay. Shall I continue, Bhavna? Is this clear for you? Sai Lakshmi, is it clear for you?
I say it's clear for me.
Okay, okay, Sai. Okay, right. Now we will go to next part. And in this we'll understand SQL Server. Two things, please. Two things. One is SQL Server release and version. Two different things. Even in interviews, it matters a lot. It matters a lot. When they ask you about when they ask you about which release of SQL Server you are experienced with, or when they ask like which version of SQL Server you are experienced with, it matters a lot. to answer, especially this type of query, which is connected with, these 2 points. So obviously, depending on what they ask, you should have a very clear idea and explanation on this concept. Okay. And now, if you start talking about all these things, obviously, it makes a term when it comes to the you when I just will mention so that you could figure out what actually it means. Uh, how to mention this? Okay, I'll make clearly for all the things. Like first is about year in which the software has been released, release name, and version, and what else we have is code name. Yeah, code name. Okay. Now, first version, already I said 1989. First, it was called SQL Server 1.0. First introduction to SQL Server. I mentioned this point here. 1989, SQL Server 1.0 was introduced. SQL Server 1.0. And version is also called same, 1.0. And at that time, there was no code name. No code name. Then 1990, 81, if I'm not wrong, SQL Server 1.1 was introduced. 1.1. Then 1993, SQL Server 4.21 was introduced. Version was 4.21. And from here, they started giving code names. And this was called SQLNT. It means when software was under development, when software was under, when it was when they were developing that software, so internal that software on that they were developing, they gave one code name to the development part, and that was called SQLNT. Okay, then like this we got 19 SQL Server 6.0, SQL Server 6.5, and 7.0 was there. Mm, and 7.0, one more release was there. SQL Server. Back to back years, they made introductions of that, like SQL Server 7.0 and SQL Server 7.0 with the data warehousing. Two versions they got. SQL Server 7.0. Okay, otherwise I'll make a list for your reference. 1995, they introduced SQL Server 6.0. 6.0 version, right? And there was some code name, SQL 95. Then 1996, SQL Server 6.5, version 6.5, and some code name was there. 1997, 95, 6.0, 90, 98. Yeah, SQL Server 7.0 was introduced with version 7.0. Back to back ऐसे ना 1999 में they introduced SQL Server 7.0 with OLAP. From here, database concepts, data warehousing concepts were introduced. Data warehouse, online analytical processing, OLAP, was introduced from this version. Yeah, some code names are also there. Okay, For every version, there is one code name. And you know something? In 2000, Microsoft has started release names based on year numbers. They started giving release names. Till 7.0, they used to call release name 7.0. Version was also 7.0. But from 2000 onwards, they started saying SQL Server 2000, but version was 8.0. Then in 2005, they introduced SQL Server 2005, and it was called 9.0. Then, then 2008, this was SQL Server 2008, and they have two releases here. Release 1 and version was called as 10.0. And then in 2010, Microsoft has come up with SQL Server 2008, a release 2 with version called 10.5. Then 2012, they introduced SQL Server 2012 with version 11.0. Then 2014, SQL Server 2014 version was 12.0. Then 2016, they called SQL Server 2016 version was 13.0. Then 2017, SQL Server 2017 with version called 14.0. Then 2019, SQL Server 2019 and version was 15.0. Then in year 2000, and you know something, even though these latest versions are introduced, but still developments are going on. Developments are going on even in 2019, even in 2017. Still developments are going on. Develop. You understand? So in 2022, SQL Server 2022, the version that they introduced, it was called 16.0. 16.0. This is the latest version. And I said, 2019, I'm saying 2019 also still under development. Still under development. This is uh, till you can say like this month. It's in this month also. 2019 got upgraded. 2019 got upgraded. And you call them what? What do you call them? You call them as cumulative updates. You call them as what? Cumulative updates. Means that such updates where every month, sometimes back to back months, they always keep on upgrading the software. In this month also, April 2024 also, in this month also, 2019, though 2022 is introduced, right? Version number, SQL Server 2022. I'm not saying like SQL Server, 2022, though it is introduced, but its upgradations are still going on. 19 upgradations are also going on, 2022 upgradations are also going on. Though it got released in 2022, but still upgradations are going. 2019 it released, but today also you find their upgradations available. You understand? Right. Now let me explain you. We are going to work on 2014, okay? Because that is the licensed version I have with me. I'll be sharing the software with you people through Google Drive, so that we'll have one separate session on that day for even installation. Installation also will have. Okay, I'll explain you detailed part of it. This is release. This is version. What's the version? 12.0.2000. Yeah, this is version. This is version. And what is this version? RTM, that is called release to market. And in this, 12 is called major version, 0 is minor version, and 2000 is build version. Build version, that is called patch. 2000, I'm saying 2000 build version. Initial version of SQL Server 2014 was 12.0.2000. Hmm. Okay, this is for 2000. What about this then? SQL Server 2000, 2016. What is the version? 6, 13, no? No. So it was 13.0.1000 version. Then SQL Server 2017. What is the version of 2017? 14.0.1000. 0.1000. Then SQL Server 2000, 2019. 19. Then 15.0.2000. These are build versions. And latest, if you talk about SQL Server 2022, what's the version for 2022? 16.0.2000. And how many upgradations you have? How many upgradations you have? You understand? You call them what? This is this is all this is all released to market. All are released to market. RTM, RTM, all are RTM, 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 all are released to market. You understand? And this SQL Server 2014 has got even service packs attached. Service packs. SQL Server 2014. What is it? SQL Server 2014. We have SP1, that is called Service Pack 1. Service Pack 1. 14. And what is the release? This is called 12.0.4100, which means that when they released the software, in 2014, it was by RTM 2000. And in 2014 Service Pack 1, how many changes they made? 4100 minus 2000. 4100, 4100 minus 2000. 2100 changes they made right from this release, first release, to this Service Pack 1. 4100 changes they made. And Service Pack 2 has this story. SQL Server 2014 service pack 2, 12.0.5,000. It means from service pack 1 to service pack 2, they made around 900 changes in the software. And SQL Server 2014, SP3, and they made around 12.0.6,000 some change 20 something 6,020 6,000 6,000 some change we have 20 or okay 6,000 12.0.2000 RTM 12.0.2000 RTM. Okay. So yeah, it is 6,024. Means what does it mean? Around from in SP3 they made around 1,024 changes. 1,024 changes. Previous version number and current version number. You have to subtract whatever the number you find. That this means those many changes they have made. Okay. These all are called what? Versions of SQL Server. RTMs they are called. Comfortable? Understood what I said here? Any questions that you have still to ask one and go for it?
So no question.
Clear? Okay. And one point I would like to highlight here. Microsoft uh, releases any version uh, uh, any version for testing purpose. And what do you call that as? Testing purpose. Or then a trial version you call trial version. Beta version they call. Okay? Beta version. Only when public finds, when people finds who are using Microsoft product comfortable in working with the concept, then only they will make what software release for the original one. Okay. And what they call for this any version for testing purpose they release. mm, Microsoft releases any version for testing purpose called CTP, Community Technology Preview. Preview. And what is the other name they call? Testing, trial, or beta version. These are the alternate names. Okay, that's it. Next, features of SQL Server. tomorrow's class. Yeah, we'll start.